as an entrepreneur, you're a painter of a vision. As far as you have different colors, you can make beautiful, better, I would say, colorful picture.
Welcome to Via News CEO and Founder Interviews. Today we're going to be talking with Omid Asgari. He's the founder and CEO at DCG Lab and CNO at VCW at Nova.
Yes.
Omid, how are you?
Perfect. Thank you for having this opportunity to talk about how we can make better business world.
Before going into that, we want to know a little bit about your background.
My background, actually, in this way, I have two sides of the coin. One side is I'm like passionate entrepreneur in the field of neurobranding, and at the same time I'm like passionate researcher with a lot of whys in my head to go and find it the real answer and real response to these challenges. That's why I'm here at Nova School of Business and Economics, where I'm as a Chief Neurobranding Officer at VCW Value Creation Wheel Lab, which is a knowledge center here at Nova, and we are helping to companies and top managers to make better decisions and sustainable decisions for their business.
What does a CNO does?
CNO is Chief Neurobranding Officer. I call myself as a neurobranding strategist. What does it mean, neurobranding? Neurobranding is empowering branding with neuroscience, evolutionary biology, and how we can looking at to deep into the subconscious level of our customers to serve better them. Because, for example, we put a lot of money in the business without knowing why. And that's a very interesting question for me. It was when I established DCG 12 years ago, I found why. Because at that time I was like a market researcher in a multinational company in Middle East. We did a lot of research that it was like based on the survey. So imagine this situation, I was filling the survey that was like 1 hour survey, and I was asking, do you like this product? And the interviewee said, yes, but the facial coding was not the answer to the survey. So I found something is missing here, something is wrong. And then I stopped and I started to do research to learn more from the gurus all around the world. So what is the gap here? Because, you know, Antonio Damasio, my favorite Portuguese neuropsychologist, he's one of my role model, is saying we are not thinking machines that feel, we are feeling machines that think. And he just wrote a book, Descartes' Errors, and this is a new phenomenon. Or, for example, Daniel Kahneman, we have the Nobel Prize in Economic, System 1 and System 2. What is System 1? System 1 is our fast thinking, and System 2 is slow thinking, and is already like the war of conscious level and subconscious level, how you are making decisions. And usually managers, they don't know about this phenomenon, and DCG Lab is here to help managers within also our methodology that well established as a meta framework from the value creation wheel here at Nova. Together we have like a very nice innovative ecosystem to serve the society, Portuguese society, not just Portuguese society, but also globally, because Nova SP is a world-class business school. So we, at the nutshell, what I'm doing is helping companies and managers, key decision makers, to supercharge their decision making from rational point of view or irrational point of view. Why irrational? Because from now the technology, now the advancement of neuroscience, we can measure emotions.
That's the point exactly.
Yeah.
So how can businesses use that kind of knowledge? So that's looking at consumer behavior in a more deep way, in a way. So how can businesses profit from that, or capitalize from that?
If you look at to Business Economic Forum report on what are the most important skills in 2020 or 2030, the top one, or at least the top 5, it says critical problem solving. The top one is critical problem solving, and that's how we can help to the businesses to understand better the customers. What I'm usually using this analogy is like scuba diving. I love Portugal because we have the ocean, and I'm using this analogy in my lots of courses. Is like scuba diving in consumer behavior, and especially consumer neuroscience behavior. You cannot go deep into ocean without special tools. Like, for example, you have to have the oxygen if you want to go really deep to ocean. What is going there, like in 40 meters, without any tools? You cannot go deep. I would say no more than 5 minutes. The most experienced scuba diver without tools, just 5 meter, 10 meter, and then he has to come and having the oxygen and go deep into back to the ocean. That's the same in consumer behavior. And now we have, thanks to neuroscience, thanks to advancement of a lot of multidisciplinary science, from social behavior, from entrepreneurship, from marketing, from neuroscience, from branding. Now we can go deep into the subconscious level of our, I would say, king, because our customers are king. So in order to serve better, we need to know them better. We need to know what are their needs. Now we are dealing with a new generation, the generation which is digitalized. The approach should be different. If you doesn't know what are their needs, specific needs, and how they
give us a practical example.
Yes, for example, imagine a company like let's say Salvado, for example. They are in the very interesting market, insurance industry, and they have specific services and products. But nowadays, the new generation is not interested to the insurance because they don't feel the needs. What neurobranding can help to the Salvado is how we can create a perception for the company, and how we can emphasize an emotional need in a way of how we are communicating to our audience. So, for example, we are visual decision makers. If you put, in order to convince, for example, someone to buy insurance, if you go put a lot of text, a lot of rationality, a lot of things, our system too is, the practical example is, can you count this? 16 multiple 1250 in less than 5 seconds.
That would be hard to do, yeah.
But how do you feel?
A little bit confused, so I have to do them.
What is it? How do I feel?
A little bit awkward with the situation? I don't know.
No. I mean, what is my feeling with my body?
Just you have like this physiognomy to it.
So your mind is recognizing this is a practical difference. So your system too is.
So that's the thing there. So you're studying human behavior.
Yes.
When they get exposed to a certain situation.
Yes. Certain situation, and how we can enhance, supercharge our communication with our target audience within the branding area, because at the end you want to build a strong brand in the customer's mind in order to have not just market share, but also mind share, but also heart share. So these are my golden triangle. First, the phenomenon is market share. Then, if you are a good brand, you're grabbing the mind share in the top of the mind of your customers. Where are you? If you want to, for example, if I want to choose the cell phone in order to a lot of companies, but in the top of mind, what is in the top of mind, but which brand I'm really want to have. And that's heart share, I would say. And this is the war between the brain and heart. And that's thanks to, again, the advancement of the neuroscience, that we can now understand how we can feel, and we can use these, I would say, data for better managerial decision making. Because, for example, ad industry, 1,000 million euros they are putting in the ad industry, but they before experiencing putting on the media, you cannot till now predict the successful of the campaign, but now we can do that
because you can spend a lot of money on a campaign. But if the ad isn't targeted,
we can reduce the risk. We can reduce we can increase the efficiency. I would say this again, we are finding the pain of the managers. What is the pain? Which should be for example, spending a lot of money, and then we are helping how you can avoid
to make it more efficient.
To be efficient as a painkiller, DCG and VCW Lab as a decision-making methodology, helping to the business world here in Portugal, also in global, also in different markets.
So there's this concept of neurobranding, and we know that brands use, so when they're selling big time, they're not selling a product per se, but the way people feel about the product. So is that within the scope of what you guys are doing?
Yes. Exactly what we are emphasizing is building emotional brand. Because I think emotions, belonging, it doesn't matter which industry. Belonging is the first need.
It's ingrained in the human culture.
Which is in our reptilian brain. I have to mention we have 3 brains. We have reptilian brain, we have new brain, and we have middle brain.
So reptilian would be the subconscious.
Reptilian brain is a key decision maker brain. The key decision maker brain, for example, if I put a snake, even artificial, are you gonna stay here and negotiate with the snake?
You're gonna run away, right?
So this is the difference. Usually the deadly mistake from our even top brands is putting a lot of rationality. It's like exactly the same situation. You want to convince the wrong person. He is not key decision maker. The new brain, which is our rational brain, is not key decision maker. The old brain, the reptilian brain, if you can convince, and it works very fast, is you convince that brain, then your communication it should be different with that one. So we have the transition from splashing a lot of message to audience, or to the point is like putting on the
like
funnel,
a spotlight in a certain place,
to the right key decision maker, and that's neurobranding, how we are doing.
So consumers are making decisions with their subconscious mind and not rationalizing the things they are buying. And how can a brand use that? So let's put an example. Let's say Coca-Cola or Apple. do that kind of
yes, actually we have
that.
classical example of Pepsi and Cola, and it's very widely used in the literature. But I would say I have to emphasize another golden triangle, which is the concept, the tools, and applications. The concept, the companies should know, aware of this, the concept that I easily described, the difference between the key decision makers for the customer's mind, and they have to have the right tools to measure, because I think the guru of the management, Peter Drucker, is saying if you cannot measure it, you cannot manage it. So now we can measure the emotions, and then these concepts and these tools can help to apply very well, very well orchestrate in your marketing campaigns, or for building the brand in long-term perspective or in short perspective. So these three elements is vital nowadays. That this is one of my mission here at Nova SPE and also in Portugal, to contribute to the Portuguese society, to Portuguese economy, because I believe Portugal has a lot of potential, and I'm here to serve.
What could Portugal do better to promote the country?
Actually, it's a very interesting question. I thought a lot about this. And for example, Portugal has amazing history. I went through the history. And also I found that it's a very rich culture, very hospitality. Here is, you can see, I feel like real home. And what Portugal can use this to change the nation brand, I mean using this as a nation brand, national branding strategy, to how they can really go in the subconscious level of all global, like I would say customers, travelers, investors, I don't know, whatever you think about the clients, I would say. And then how they can measure the effectiveness of their campaign in a global,
Are there some key factors that you can pinpoint there? So with a real example.
For example, recently I just was in Sintra. And Sintra gave me a feeling that I was traveling through the history. But I would say the preparation, the emotional engagement was not there. I mean, you can build something, you have the context like Sintra, and then you can build experience. For example, you can use virtual reality technology to put there, and tourists can go to experience what is this palace back to those years. You can with
virtual reality.
Yes, with virtual reality. Also, you can use neuroscience within virtual reality. Which one was most interesting? And then you can adapt your strategy based on customer need. What neurobranding says, if your brand as a country, as a company, as a city, as the university, as a business school, if it's not beloved by your customers, is not neurobranding. Neurobranding has also another concept, which we call it point of sale, where is your first impression in terms of the atmosphere, and points of people, POP and POS. So point of sale is back to atmosphere, is a physical atmosphere like design, the way environment can affect you. And point of people is more important because maybe, for example, I'm coming to the one very stylish shopping center in Colombo, Colombo, something like that. But I have dealing with a very not nice seller, and then never ever I'm gonna back, even they put a lot of money to design wearable. Vice versa is also happening. If you go to the not really nice, like in terms of the atmosphere, in terms of design, but you have very lovely person as a seller, probability that you're gonna back to that store is high, because it's emotion, is the link of emotion. Your brain is connecting the dots between my emotion and the recall of the brand to that emotion. I have one challenge for you. What is the most powerful brand in your mind?
Nike.
Nike. What is the most powerful brand within your personal life?
Personal, I don't know. I'm getting Trump at the moment, yeah.
In personal life, for all people, mom and dad.
Oh, really?
Why? Because from the beginning of the birth, your birthday, a lot of neurotransmitter, fires between you and mom. If you even smell, even now, your mom is back to the recall to old memories, and you feel good, isn't it?
Exactly. It's like when you eat something and it reminds you of your grandmother.
Exactly. So what my advice to wrap it up is try to bring emotion to the life, because maybe all of your customers, all the people, maybe they are not your customers, but all customers are human beings with the same root.
And we do business with other human beings, so yeah.
Yes, is really, I would say now we are starting in 2020, decade of humanity. What does it mean? It's not B2C, B2G, B2B, is edge to edge, human to human. Even we have the advancement of
we're going back to basics in a way, right?
Yes, we have to back to really again understand who we are. What I'm going to do here in this world. What my company can add value to co-create with others, companies in this society to make better life. That's my final message.
Omid, what do you think are the biggest challenges or mistakes that companies are making when they are doing their branding or their strategy, business strategy there, and they are not using neurobranding and all that stuff?
First, the first deadly mistake is not all the managers, of course, but lots of managers, they don't put themselves to learn. Because if you don't know about neurobranding, at least not heard about this phenomenon, then if, for example, you have a very nice, very well-educated marketing director, and he's coming, Omid, seems interesting, seems something new that can work for our company. Because they don't know and they don't want to know, then shutting down everything. They don't want to hear everything. So the most critical things for the managers now is do the process again as another golden triangle. De-learning first, empty your cup, relearning, and then at the end you will learn.
Adaptability then.
Yes. So first, from any situation, whoever you are, I'm talking from my side, you need to empty your cup, because if your cup is full, you cannot add anything. So empty your cup, come in the earth, and then start to learn from your students. Why I'm here at Nova, why I love to be at Nova, because I'm learning a lot from my students. I'm learning a lot from my colleagues. We have brilliant people here. And that's the steps. So de-learning, learn, and relearn. This is a cycle. This is the only thing that they have to do. Also, from this point, they have to know more about decision making. As I said, it's a critical skills for managers, top managers, to be aware of not individual decision making. You should come to the world of co-creation, co-creating value for the society, and you cannot do like as an individual. So you need to co-create. You need to hand by hand. With one hand you cannot shake the other hand. So that's my definition, that you should, as a manager, think in three ways. In box, think out of the box, and lastly think with no box. No barriers.
That's interesting because we have things that we know, that we don't know, and that we don't know, that we don't know, right? So that's comes into that. So I wanted to switch gears a little bit and go into your company.
Mm-hmm.
So how would you define DCG Lab today?
DCG Lab is a lab that can help to companies, to consultant, because we are not see ourselves as a competitor for consultant, for example in ad industry or whatever. We are here to help, is like the laboratory of consultant, in order to go deep into, for example in the lab, if you have the blood test, then the lab can tell you exactly what are the measurements there. Even maybe medical doctor doesn't know about these detailed things. So I would say we are really deep into the zoom in terms of the data, but also from my background and all my multinational interdisciplinary team that we have also have ability to zoom back and looking at to this. And then we are like the methodology that we are using big data, we are using small data, which I said is a small data, and the way we are looking at is a smart data. So big data and a small data, and the way you are looking at these two is a smart way of using data.
What kind of companies are using DCG Lab?
Consultant. We can co-create together because we have a special methodology, and companies themselves also, the big corporations in B2C, B2G, in B2B even. For example, B2G, how they can use, for example, if one candidate want to run the campaign and analyze before putting the campaign for the next election, how can people react to this ad?
Can also SMEs use your...
Yes, SMEs, actually I have, because I love like startups, and we are here in the new hub of the European, I would say, startup as a Lisbon, and Web Summit is also coming.
What do you mean, Lisbon as a city?
Yes, Lisbon as a city, because we had Berlin, and now Lisbon. I came here 2016, so I can see the growth and the maturity that every year.
How do you see it evolving?
Yeah, is amazing. I love the way we are booming in terms of the ecosystem, interaction between the international startups and these kind of things. So what is interesting for me, and I really give to all my colleagues like a hint, that we have to support young entrepreneurs, and by any chance any young entrepreneur want to do something, please contact me, and then if I can help, I will help, because I had the same situation back to 12 years ago. So this is like boomerang, I would say. It's echo. When you talk, you have to give back to the society, because I had also a lot of mentors to help me to don't do the mistake in a way that reducing the risk. And this methodology the way we are doing is diminishing their risk, which they don't have the money in the beginning. So we have a special offer for like startups that they can come to us, we can work on their challenges.
What's your take on how should young entrepreneurs start their business? Like those key factors?
The key success factors, I mean, as an entrepreneur is deep understanding, answering the why. Start always with the why. Why I'm gonna do that? To what need I'm gonna respond? And that's a really important question. And why, how, what? These are three questions that you have to clear your mind for the first period of your life in terms of the entrepreneur, and then don't care about other things. You're gonna have a lot of negative response from the audience. I myself, a lot of my mates, when I was studying in Netherlands, they were saying, Omid is crazy. Okay, I'm crazy enough to change the world from changing myself first. So that's really from, I would say, you have to have the quality of high degree of resilience, and you have to have the ability to lead people, to speak the truth with yourself, and inspire the soul of your team. Because at the beginning, you cannot motivate your people. You have to be inspiring leader for your team.
You also talk about neuro-entrepreneurship.
Yes.
And neuro-leadership.
Yeah.
What's that about?
Neuro-leadership is applying neuroscience into how we can make better situation, better environment, better one-to-one connection, because it's changed the way we are looking at to the people. As I said, point of people is important, because you need to understand how our brain work, how our biorhythm is work. For example, some people that are night guys, some people that are, for example, morning guys. So if, as a manager, if you don't know this, then okay, you need to come here from 9 to 5, then they don't have any productivity. So what we did, for example, we looked at the biological profile of the people, and having the match between their job description with their blood groups, their hormonal quotient, their type of personality, and then they will love. In a nutshell, if I want to define the neuro leadership from my point of view, is like this. Imagine you are BMW, or in terms of capability, or Ferrari, for example. And then as a manager, I put you in the middle of the desert. I hired you, I spent 2 million euros for having you in my system, as a for example, as a car, for example, in my collection. And then I spent 2 million and I put you in the desert. How do you feel? Even you are Ferrari, you're gonna be struggle with everything. Vice versa. If I put the for example, 4-wheel drive like Jeep in the German highway, what is going to be happen? A lot of Porsche, a lot of Ferraris is going, because the job description, the atmosphere is ready to push the gas. So neuro leadership is the part that you can fit what makes your people happy, in order to co-create with your company as the family. And you don't need control. If you put someone which the job description is his or her passion, you don't need control. And then if you put someone again I have to go to work, and is increasing the like cortisol in their body, and then it comes cortisol to the environment of the company, and everyone, it's a biology, so it's full of tox in the environment, and you're decreasing efficiency. So neuroleadership is looking at how we can supercharge leadership with neuroscience, with the understanding better human being.
I want to know your take about audio and video. So it's becoming increasingly important as a marketing tool for companies. How does that apply or relates to neurobranding?
As I said, a lot of people in terms of content marketing, they are saying content is king, but I would say content is not king, is a queen. The king is how you're gonna use your power, how you're gonna use your content. It's like in my home also, my wife is key decision maker. When it comes to, for example, buying a house, I have the power, I have the money, but she is the key decision maker in order to how to use this money and this power. So I would say I'm using this analogy that who is the key decision maker based on your target market. You need to understand how you can use this content in a right way. You can have brilliant audio visual, but in a wrong way of using.
How would that look like, that wrong way of doing it?
The way is like communicating with a new brain, as I said. New brain is not key decision maker, and then even the text wise, even the message, even the claims that you can bring for your clients. And this is just one takeaway from all my research and experience in this field. The deadly mistake from the specific in the content, the deadly mistake from all managers and companies is talking about me, our vision, our philosophy. Our reptilian brain doesn't care about you. Our reptilian brain is self-centered. You need to change to the language of me to you. What can I do for you? And then you directly talk to the reptilian brain. If you go, okay, what we do, then you're shutting down.
Making a barrier.
Yes. And it goes to the security need, and you're shutting down the decision maker. Very detailed, very is interesting, but very to the point. And also, as I said, you don't need invest €1,000,000 to learn about these kind of things. This comes from the experience of the literature and I would say the projects.
How do you see the neurobranding paradigm going into the future? So where do you see it heading?
I think not just neurobranding. Now we are going to the new world of interdisciplinary world. I would say is a combination of these four science is gonna create the new paradigm. I would say new world, new industrial revolution, or whatever we can think about it. One is biotechnology, one is information technology, one is nanotechnology, and one is cognitive and neurotechnology. So overlap between these disciplines is creating the future. Imagine, for example, information technology with neurotechnology that we are using. For example, we are using platform based on neuroscience to understand better the customers. So we are merging two disciplines together. And nowadays also we are trying to bring biology also to this field in order to biometric measurement system of consumers in order to have better understanding. So, as I said, this is really also a hint that the future is for the global business leaders, the overlap between these fields. Even if you was looking at Web Summit, and a lot of startups that are there, is interestingly they found a gap in traction between these technologies and these discipline. For example, blockchain in in biotechnology, nano drug delivery within the biotechnology. So all is a multidisciplinary.
It's all coming
fields,
together
yes,
in a
all
way.
together.
Please share with us a big piece of advice with young entrepreneurs.
They have to really do the learning and learn process first. Even you are a graduate from best business school, you need to come down and looking at very wisely. You need to find those people that they had the same problem, and you can ask always for the guidance. And I strongly believe to co-create. If you want to go further, you need to go with the team. You cannot do everything yourself. It's like our fingers. If I don't have this, I might have trouble with doing something. So, and also you have to respect to all differences. Once another interview I had, and my host answered me the same question, and I said, "Is like having diversity in your team is not limiting yourself. It's like as a painter, as an entrepreneur, you're a painter of a vision. As far as you have different colors, you can make beautiful, better, I would say, colorful picture, not just black and white."
And going back a little bit, you talked about the reptilian brain being the center of decision, and then you talk about the new brain. What do you mean, like the cortex stuff? What is the new brain?
The new brain is also the part of neocortex that we have, like we are trying to, all the rationalization is happening there.
So it's like the conscious brain then?
Yes, conscious brain is system 2.
The subconscious brain is making all the decisions, and we just
not necessarily. It depends on the context. But most probably the most important decisions, for example, for the marriage, which is very important, one of the most important, you are not calculating anything, right?
When are you calculating then? When you're doing math, or?
I mean, you are not calculating. Is she fit on my? You are not making the matrix.
You're like filling the.
Yes, you are not making the calculating, filling the matrix. Oh, she has this, she has this, she has this, she has this. No,
check.
Yes, it's not like this.
Yes.
It's like this happening, and that's the power of the emotional part, and also the reptilian, because we need to co-create, and that's the need of the reptilian brain. He or she can detect, is he or she the right person for me? And most probably is yes. The answer is yes for the reptilian brain. But neurobranding, because neuroscience is very complex also, neurobranding can help managers to decode the decisions for them, as we have like our main thing that we are doing, decoding decisions for the companies and for our.
But when is a customer doing the decision, buying a product or service, and is doing the decision, he or her is doing the decision with the reptilian brain or with the conscious brain? Is there a difference there?
As I said, it depends on the context. It depends on the complexity. And it depends on the risk.
Do you have an example involved to go with that? So,
for example, actually we did some study about this, and when people they want to buy a house, how they choosing the house. because it requires a lot of money and a lot of investment, so it seems is rational decision making because you need to invest in these kind of things. But you can feel if you go to the one like house that you really like that house, you already checked, and then you are rationalizing your decision. Okay, this seems interesting, and then you can compare, and our brain loves to compare between different things, but not too much. Another key point, another hint to the managers: don't overload the brain with the messages and the options. Our brain can just looking at like 3 to max 7 options at the same time. Our brain loves 3. Why? Because thinking about 7 options requires a lot of blood, oxygen, and is for our body is a pain. So if you can make it very solid decisions, you have better condition for making decisions. So this is also another from neurobranding perspective. Don't make it too difficult.
So you gave the example there with a customer buying a house, so he's using emotions, subconscious brain. When would be an example of a fully conscious decision by a customer?
A fully conscious, even
or
I mean,
not fully.
We cannot say is fully conscious, yes, or fully subconscious.
But more tending into that side.
But for example, is in a complex situation which we need like collective thinking, is much more like rational, especially in politics. For example, you need to convince this party, you need to convince that party, and it comes to a lot of logic, a lot of scenario thinking, and is very complex and is not fully emotionally. But emotions, if you can control emotions, then you can use the benefit of the rationality as well. So it depends on the context, but mainly the message, my key message is we need to understand how human beings make decisions. And we have the tools, we have the concepts to make better business world.
Omid, thank you very much for this interview.
You're welcome. Thank you for a brilliant idea that we can sit here, and thank you especially for Fidelade Studio. Especially thanks for Nova SP, where I love to contribute in both practical side and also scientific side.
It's a pleasure to have you at Pioneers.
Thank you.
Thank you.